Anybody, you want more? Make a one.
Malaria. Cholera.
Mommy body make her take something now. One take this salad.
Let's what you do so. You man the thing say body warm, you the warm mommy body bath. You know you yet about COVID-19.
No, but not to COVID he get to. This now malaria he get. You know see when body warm. Can't feel him body no more. Can't touch him.
Me go touch him when me do you the same sign the way man they display soon at the same thing COVID-19 said they do possible. You don't check where you listen to COVID-19 you man get. I beg you, do you give me the phone make a call 117. 117 where you call that number. Now the number will go to that test play. But let you know if na COVID-19 you man get or not to in.
Satu, I don't think say you for touch you man right now. Because if you touch you man and na the coronavirus you get, the tendency for let yourself get the coronavirus. It dey. Now well body work man then no more go able to tell you man whether na corona or malaria you get.
But waiting me for do now? I don't confuse.
Well, now that's make the well body work man and they say, we person they feel that kind of way they call 117. Not gonna hospital, call 117 and explain to them.
Now Osiwa support Radio Democracy for bring this message to you.
Well, good afternoon, Fumble, and welcome to this special 30-minute program where Osiwa they support Radio Democracy for bringing can to you every Thursday 4 o'clock to 4:30. This program na for talk about woman and girl picking them. We go get sexual and gender-based violence problem them during this corona period. Now the studio today we they talk about the effect of corona on teenage girl picking them. And inside the studio we get Ramatu Jallo, we na the advocacy and communication director na Save the Children. They can talk about waiting girl picking them can go to in times of crisis, especially now we corona they now we missed. And Save they don't pull reports them na do we concern the Ebola crisis first them and now this coronavirus. Good afternoon and welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, thank you.
Well, continue for day between the program. Our lay family members say this program they come to live from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM and now Osiwa they support Radio Democracy for produce and bring this edition of this program can to you. And in the same way, so listen we on the internet on www.radiodemocracy.sl. You can go now with Facebook page and you go get we live. If you get any comment or question, you can left her now with Facebook page and self you go left message on the number 077 981 981. Time go reach inside the program where we go open phone line. If you want for call inside the program, you get concerned for we studio guest, you go call on 077 981 981. But when the time reach, we go open the phone line. We go come back to we studio guest for where we can talk about the crisis of the effects where the crisis here can get on girl picking them. Good afternoon again.
Good afternoon.
Okay, based on una reports them where una be don pull during the Ebola time, where we can talk about and then una report una pull una not pull it, but una there about for pull or una findings them way the problem the way girl picking and they go through at this time of COVID. Wetin you go say or how you go able for link girl picking them and crisis generally?
I go on for say generally the crisis for girl picking them na issue not so just for Sierra Leone but all around the world. But until we there today we talk about girl picking them inside salon, so we'll focus on the things and way we don't see from the last Ebola to waiting they happen now, waiting can happen to we picking them. From the last report that we've been get through one assessment way we've been doing many years ago, then we released that report inside 2017 on the impact of Ebola and the girl picking them. We've been see say the increase in teenage pregnancy rates been go up to over 60%. We've been get Boku picking and we've been participate in that report today because our different partners have been come together for do that report. Right across the country, we get different focus groups them with different picking them we come for talk about the issues them where they affect them. Teenage pregnancy have been the main thing where Boku them when they talk about. School we been locked have been something also where they been talk about. In some areas and they talk about child marriage. We know say with a result of that Ebola, within 9 months they would have been dinner us because of teenage pregnancy, boku born, we get issues then related to that. So I don't say one of them go be with health issues. We don't say sometimes some picking them with them and go go around hospital. If they get locked for go hospital, then go born, then get issues. The picking them today, if then they grow up now, so then go get some issues around nutrition, all kind challenge around that. For the one that we not make them because sometimes they not be no for go health facility, then we don't lost their life. And we know say we statistics them for maternal and infant mortality is very high. And what make that they high also now because boku we picking them with boku the woman the way they born na salon, then they under the age of 18. And we know say their body not ready, they're not mature yet for born. So then they impact on their health and they also impact on childbirth. So these are some of the things that we've been come up inside that 10 days.
So that time the way una do that report them, what una be do with the reports at the end of the day?
The reports we've been, because we do them with different partners, we've been on circulate with partners. This now information we boku partners continue for work on some of the things that we come out inside our reports. And I know say it be impact on the strategy for the reduction of teenage pregnancy and child marriage, and that national strategy in the out now. Boku we partners, including we SEF, they work on addressing teenage pregnancy inside with different communities or with districts than where they work. And I know say we get to UN agencies and we donors them. They don't raise a lot of awareness on what to make we get for address the issues of teenage pregnancy and look at how we go able for sort out and make sure say we picking them then life. It's protected, then stay protected in their communities, and we'll be able to give them the opportunity for land and go before for contribute to a nation building.
Okay, so people then go to say Ebola and coronavirus they're like a similar situation. So is it that waiting be to happen the Ebola time? They repeat itself now. Una as people then we don't go out in the field, they don't go observe it in they happen. How una go able answer that question there?
We concern from waiting we small assessment we do. We concern now for history not repeating itself. And so then can say history repeating itself. Now we main concern Dandy. We been do a small needs assessment.
So from the look of things, is it about for repeating self or waiting?
I feel say if we government and we self we as partners and different agencies not come together and make sure say we take action and take certain steps, then we can get a situation where
so it's
history
like
go likely for repeating itself.
happening.
Exactly. We know say Corona just come inside Salone, inside March. So we still get time for level for catch up and put things or systems in place for prevent then kind crisis they for happen at this time, at this moment in time. The needs assessment we will conduct, and I've been small one now, over 100 picking that we reach out to inside Western
That's
area.
Size. Okay.
We've been do inside 6 communities inside Western area, then Pujaun district. The things that we come out for them very strongly, now the concern we then get on school closure. Boku afraid say where school don't lock now and they don't get any time as to when they go return school. They don't know what thing they happen with them. For some girl picking them, they worry say sometimes them comping them, then step forward and comping them, go end up inside situation where they get belay, and because they get belay, they're not able to turn back school. Some them don't prepare for the national exams then they worry say we will not get timeline now stand them for go back school, they don't know stand they will take that exam. And if that means say then they them go it go mean say then go get for repeat back that for that 1 year. We other company them they worry say this now not idle time. But who sit on house, they know they do nothing. So some they afraid say some then company then go begin jumping at treats, they go and end up inside situation where then they total belly. And the one that way they put on the interesting thing will come up for most of them now this child marriage. Some they afraid say now where they know they go school then they now us some send them family then go get them to married to man for marriage, or then feel say the man they within at the community will begin for encourage them some kind of way where they end up in a relationship now they end up then with pregnancy. So some then things and then they come up for the girl picking them more.
So based on the child marriage, like any report no me to na like a picking where they non force now for late married.
I not go say reports don't reach we right now, but we know say that then a serious issue where they go on, especially inside we districts like Pujao and Kailaun, especially in remote communities. Bokuden community then they then get a cultural belief. We then believe say the girl picking once you don't reach a certain age, sometimes they don't put on bondo. Then na time for and for get married. We been get one incident where we been go to one community, in a riverine community, where we been talk to one lady within another community there. If they tell we say the challenge we then get with this issue of bondo, we then put the pikina bondo, regardless of an age, as it don't come up bondo so, in self belief say it don't ready for go to man. So you can get all kind challenge. Some now then can left them host net for go sleep to man, or some them go make tear, they end up with belly, pass them married, and then go set up married house. So that was one of the challenges that then come up with. So we know say in terms of child marriage, now ongoing issue for we. Boku communities and still believe say girl picking, you know they invest too much pan girl picking. Now you boy picking they invest pan for let you go school. The girl picking well in go end up to man. So need not they for let you educate them. So now all then here we they try for sort of address inside we programs and where we do, where we get support for girl picking them either for go back school or if they don't born then get picking for build their economic status for let them empower themselves for continue and improve their lives.
So waiting at the idea as at now about the COVID based on waiting on gather
from Western area, where till we find out the picking them well informed. They know then get a lot of information on COVID. Then they call on corona. So now so then they refer to it as corona. So in terms of all the government message them, because then they near radio, then get access to TV, some them family or them sister them or then self get access to phone them, then they get that information there on a regular basis. For the one that way they inside Pujeom, the information we'll get, it look like Bokudi message you then get now through them teachers, the time with them they go school, or sometimes through some family members. Now one go make reference to radio for say now they then get the information. Most of them now inside the community then get that message there. But the one that inside Freedom, they get all of the information from the radio, from TV, and from family and from the community members.
Okay, so on sexual harassment and gender-based violence, waiting on gather at this time.
At this time, until then just recently don't dinner us, the information we don't get now more than concern rather than the actual acts of sexual violence or harassment. So Boku talk say the main concern now we don't sit on us now, the idle, the risk for less some girl picking and jumping at streets don't high. For the one that we did at the districts, they say the risk for letting fumble them, get them to man now for marriage, it don't high. Because then they feel say, because they don't get time, we send them go turn back school, that risk they now don't open to them more. In terms of violence where they go on now, the other concern with them they raise now, because all man they now host now, you know they go no side, the risk of abuse, beats now beat them, they beat you, now other kind of harassment you get now also, that they don't increase. Because school at least, you know, say 7 o'clock in the morning, you don't grab, you don't ready, you don't go school, you didn't have school all day, sometimes they reach now us by then 4, 5 o'clock. So in terms of engagement with other family members or other people, there are other things that will go put you to risk, is low. But now that protection or protective environment in all day again, so they're exposed to all kinds of risk or dangers.
So you they talk say this not so like waiting they happen today and are just a concern with them raise. So apart from the concerns them with them raise from Unayon reports them we una don't do not even now Ebola and other crisis them. How gender-based violence can come in then turn in the way crisis can be?
I think, say, in terms of any kind of violence, abuse, or issue, it can come up because I think, say, people, all man day in a state of emergency, all man day in a state of crisis. We know, say, we get some families where at least every day, then they go out, then go fenam, then can house. Now that way, then they support them family. But that situation, they change inside crisis. You get other pressures and way they add to the household, where they add to that individual. For example, during the Ebola time, because then put restriction on movement. But who people that if you're not a market person, where you get for go, come, for bring you business, for sell, you're not able for do that and again. The restrictions been there in place. Now the same thing now we don't happen for COVID. But who the market people then, the one that way they do small business. That freedom of movement, it on done. So that stress, it depend the combra, it depend the papa, it depend the mama. Then they worry now, who side and go spend money, for continue for maintain the family. Then they not one. The next concern we then get, now for continue their livelihood. If restrictions end they now, it means say, all the things that we them they do for making their life go on, then they don't change. So how for adapt now to this current crisis, and how then they go mean for the household? All them things and then are things and way are things they add extra pressure on the household, where they put pressure upon the picking them, where they also put pressure upon the community. All gets like an effect, or what you call that effect when a knock-on effect from the child or from the parent to the child to the family to the community.
We're just normal. Okay. With all of this, the psychological impacts are one where people can just watch that kind of way they like, really important. With always who don't go through the Ebola and other crises them, and woman and picking a more than king vulnerable anytime where crisis can they. So the psychological impacts where it get on then set of people them they na cause for concern. So as somebody where don't they go na the field and don't they do research, wetin are you on take on the psychological impact where then crisis here can get on girls and woman them?
I think say the interesting thing will be do this needs assessment. Now the way where the picking and self they talk, where you ask them a certain question, then they say they feel bad, they not feel fine, they're not happy. Then they already in a sign say psychologically, just the time where they get this message for say COVID Mornin Salone, then they don't begin affect them. The second thing, the time where they tell them say, okay, when I get for sit on us now, school not they for stay, we will contact now where they tell where the term correct now or the term right or is safe for them can school. Then they also create that uncertainty. So say some picking and right now they're not happy. Some they begin for feel depressed because we know say with some picking them. The side where then they get their happiness na school. Where then go na then school, na they then party then day. Then get them teachers as counselors. Na then they give them that support where they need that support. If na school feeding, sometimes if na picking where they na also when I want them for they no more than get for something for it na us. At least you the guarantee say where you go school, you go get something for it. So at least you don't get 2 meals a day. So all of them here go get different impact on picking them as we go on. And at then are we concerned for say because school no day, then they make them feel depressed. Because they get extra stress pressures them na us. Then they go cause impact on them. And that kind of thing, they go make them jump na treat. If they jump na treat now, then they get all the other psychological effects them, we go affect them over time.
All right, I'll continue for the we now the studios. We get like a few minutes left for the program for make it done. So we want for open phone line now so that people them go give them concern or ask questions to the studio guests. And remember, say this now interactive program where they talk about gender-based violence and the effects where crisis can get on picking them. We get a caller. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Yeah, let's Davis the talk. I'm glad for this program. Although myself not they feel well, I'm glad in a way I able to partake on this topic. In line with this closure of them picking there during this crisis, really, tell well at all. Governments which una successful at that panel, they una for often ways and means una for them create a way where they pick also for the go school. If not class 1, 2, 3, then they go school Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All right, it's all right for 4 hours. Then the other school picking instead, the other classes themselves then go school for 4 hours. It will be better. Then it will be more helpful than this on a radio program. The radio program and say not to all the picking them get time for listening to radio. Most of them they get a mobile phone at their hand when they play.
All right, this not a radio teaching program, yeah. This is a special program where we do for talk about the effects where crisis can get on girl picking in our society, yeah. This not a radio program with regards to school in open one. I sure say if government official and they listen to you, then go know waiting for do. Thank you so much for calling. Well, the number again for calling is 077981981. If you use, if you get any question for a studio guest or any concern where you get span the program. Hello. Okay, we don't cut that color there. We've been they talk about the psychological effect on picking them now where they know they do nothing, then they dinner house. And this caller if we just call a talk about where then the dinner house and the studio idol, they know they go school. What do you think about that?
Now, difficult situation we would do because we know say this sick here, it gets infectious. Now something like Ebola is similar to Ebola. The time where Ebola been there, where you know say in terms of bodily contact, you contract a sickness and where you catch the sick, either it cause serious issues for your health or it kill you. Government know understand it, and I think say we as partners we all know understand it. We want to make sure say we picking them, then remain safe, then stay safe as best as possible. We did try for see how we can get different ways them for keep them occupied with and dinner us, or for make sure say then remain safe and then continue with their education at community level.
So with all the reports them way una can pull na do with regards to girl picking them, una can make any or certain recommendations to government.
Yes, I think in the last report, then we make recommendations to government, and I also with regards to this school radio listening learning lessons or radio teaching programs. I think one of the recommendations I mean formulate and make sure say that they are accessible to all picking them, and I think say we don't hear it from the caller for say not to all picking and get access to that. And we agree with that, and I think say government to try for see how they can expand and roll out the radio teaching program. And say by God's grace then go succeed. For we, the recommendations where some picking them come up with inside the communities, now been foresee how they can able to find different ways for make them more engaging as well. Because then we know saying like one hour then can give for the different categories them, where for some picking them, they not get way for keep up with that program day, or they're not able for follow up. So this is not something where we still feel say government for continue for looking to for how for make them accessible but also make them more interactive, especially for the picking them where they far we're not able for access the radios them. Another recommendation where some picking them in gay and we not know how possible that they go be. Now for if we be able for think of innovative ways and we'll be able for provide teaching for them inside and communities them. Now of course some been say like how we call have been mentioned, if opportunity there for let them reduce the number of class picking them inside the class them. So instead of you get 50 picking the inside class, you do reduce them to 20, for example, so at least they're able to take lessons. But this now all the things that we then been come up with. We feel say as long as the picking they're able to get access to education and then stay safe, that's the most important thing.
So you think say if them begin allow picking them back for go school with the effort where government don't they make for reduce the amount of cases that they get and the deaths them what they get for the day. If you say if they open school now, now a good idea, even if them put restrictions, if you say people then go adhere or picking them go adhere to them.
Right now, the way the situation being at the country, it best let we try for find ways for let we maintain we picking them and find ways for educate them inside their communities, inside their homes safely. We still see say we get challenges for even the basic requirements where governments they tell we say we all for use face mask for go up and down. We still get challenges with social distancing. So my main concern for we picking them, I know say they want for go school is if they go school, picking them like for play, they like for hug and touch. Then they are just human nature, a very natural to picking them for let they able for grip themselves for bind, like how they can call, they can talk say they want for bind and play together. If we be allow picking them for go school now, we still not adhere to the basic principles for keep we all safe, then the risk of spreading the COVID go high. So now that is my main concern, despite the fact that the beginning they call for go school. Now for let we think of measures and we will keep them safe, but equally give them the opportunity for able for access to education.
So what's not the measures they are? What do you think say for be done? As at now, what if you say government for put into consideration or government for implement some of them you suggestions there where you go can make for help the picking them as a way for ladies them no go sit down us idle men are not being prone to disaster or rape, sexual violence, harassment and all.
For the education side, I think say for waiting we go recommend for now the teaching programs, but they need for rolling out because we know say no roll out to the different districts them yet. For we vulnerable picking them or the one that we really hard to reach or marginalized, the one they will not get access to radio. It will find for label for fair opportunity for provide them with radios because that way they now we can guarantee say they all get access to radio and they all go able for access the teaching programs then. In terms of the radio teaching programs, then can find ways where they can make them more interactive for the one then within our hosts now because we know say not to them all they listen to the program. So sometimes they need for think of interactive ways them where they go able for engage the picking them more so then they pay more attention. For the parents and self then get a role for play inside this. We know say the picking them then our hosts. The parents and self get responsibility for make sure say them picking them stay safe. A fine for lady parents and no side and picking and there at all times, but also for give them the key messages on corona. The wash hand, the use of face mask, if they not get any way but for comot na us. If they get for comot na us, then for use them face mask. If then na us and then are picking their way, still they go school, then for encourage them for sit down and listen to the teaching programs, and at least provide, except na 30 minutes per day for go through the lessons with them picking them.
Okay, so you talk about the assessment una they do na 2 key areas them where una for now una don't target like 100 picking them, right? Now something we una plan for do because this not all like a situation where they affect a set of people or a set of districts or a set of place. Now all over the country they affect because we don't hear about community spread and all. So what una they do now for reach out as best as possible to picking them and get them view the wider coverage. We're not to just selected few.
Well, for we as Save the Children, we they operate in just selected districts then. So inside we projects and where they work, we can able for reach out to the communities inside western area, some communities inside western area, then Napujon and Kailaun. So through we staff, then they able for reach out to the different community systems of leaders and we then get for able for pass on key messages around corona and waiting them for do. We also they provide support and information through radio programs and what they do at district level. And with the plans they go able for try for find way for engage picking them so then self can talk to them, company them about corona and waiting make the need for take these steps and where government don't recommend to them. Inside we program them back, we they look for see how we can able for provide support. For the one that way not they go school now, we they look at how we can do some more advocacy, especially to government, for encourage them for roll out the radio programs then. And for the one that we did now host, for the one that we able for reach out to, we they encourage them for at least hold them book and continue for studying our host. We also engage with community leaders, especially we campaign this issue of teenage pregnancy, child marriage, and sexual violence. For let them talk to them community members, for make sure say then they adhere to the bylaws, and we then get inside them communities, especially for the issue of child marriage, for make sure say then girl picking and stay safe inside this time.
Okay, so finally as we they wrap up the program because it just all left 2 minutes for lady program done. What will be your key message to picking them, especially girl picking them right now where they listen to you at this time waiting for do you advice we want for send to them?
For we girl picking them within our house, we know say the school they don't lock, but it not mean say because school they don't lock you for sit down idle. You get your class book them, you get your textbook them, you can able for sit down, spend at least 30 minutes per day. They go through your lesson books them. That is very important. We also know say some families and they where the girl picking and can feel frustrated because sometimes beaucoup things are not there for eat not in our house, or if you say you tempted because other party within our community they go out, they see say they get other things and we encourage you now do ya. Try for dinner house, sit on our house, stay at home, stay safe. You go protect yourself from at least getting into a situation where you know they able for pull yourself from. For we parents we want for advise them, do ya Una look after una girl picking them. There were now we jewel them for tomorrow. Now we investments them for tomorrow. Then go benefit you, then go benefit with communities, then go benefit with country. So do ya make sure say you dey keep we picking them safe at home, in the community at all times.
Thank you so much for David we na the program. That's na Ramatu Jalo, we na the Advocacy and Communication Director na Save the Children. He be there also for talk about waiting girl picking them can go through in times of any crisis, where he make reference to the Ebola crisis where be happen inside 2007 to 2015, and safe now where the corona don't come now we miss the effects where it get on teenage girls them. That community. Plenty thank you again for where you join with na the program.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and we want to tell thank you to people and we listen to this program, and the one them we send text messages inside the program. We want to say sorry, we're not able to read the messages because the program na ya so at the end. But we get another program next week Thursday the same time 4 o'clock to 4:30. You can call in inside the program or you can send you text messages, and we promise say we go able for create time for read messages inside the program. Now so the program go left free for today. We want to tell thank you to we producer them Alex Lawrence Koroma and we executive producer Michael Sambola, we them produce the program. And we want to say thank you to Moses Kavura, we help you with we Facebook page, and we want to say plenty thank you to Sugarcane, we na the engineer. Plenty thank you to everyone. We want to say tata.
Corona dey kill. Mama was you and you sanitizer.
Anybody, you want more?